What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Against the Ropes. I am Gio. I'm alongside some new faces. We got Lewis here with us. How you doing, Lewis?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. You have your boy Gut
That's right.
back. We have Alexis.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and we are live from the Wolfpack Studios.
You're welcome.
Different place, but we're still going to talk boxing because there was a big fight that happened this weekend. Mikey Garcia against Errol Spence. And let's just jump right to it, right? It was live from the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, Fox pay-per-view. Let's start with you, Lewis. What'd you think about this fight, the main event?
It was a shutout for Spence. Absolutely, I agree 100% with the judges. I don't think necessarily that Mikey looked bad so much as he was just kind of outclassed. His defense, he was using his defense a lot. A lot of the shots that Spence was throwing were touching his gloves, or they were being blocked or parried away. But still, Spence just really put on the clinic, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that because he didn't look bad because his defense was pretty decent. But on offense, he didn't really offer much, right?
Right. Yeah, it looked like he was. Honestly, he looked really slow.
He was out muscled.
Yeah.
I mean, you're fighting a guy who's taller than you, whose reach is longer than you. I mean, it's literally a hand. His reach is a hand longer than his, and you can see it. Like he wasn't hiding it. He goes, my reach is 4 inches longer than him. My game plan was to fucking keep him away from me with the jab.
It was a good game plan.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Mikey couldn't even get in.
Well, I noticed how Mikey was trying to counter, and then every time his punch would just be super short. It'd be short, and
Spence was just taking a step back.
yeah.
I love that he took the fight though, because he doesn't give a shit about his record. He wants to go for greatness.
Got paid pretty well too.
That challenge, it was a big challenge for
He
him.
wants to
he
go
took
for
that
greatness.
challenge, right?
Yeah.
At the end, it was probably too much for him.
Yeah.
But the fact that he took it, I think everybody respects him for it. To me, he didn't win a round, but like you said, it's not like he looked terrible out there. I mean, he had a guy.
He didn't look terrible. He just lost every round.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had a guy in front of him, like you said, who was longer.
Stronger.
And he threw about 1,000 punches.
Yeah.
So, especially the jab.
And I'm gonna say this. I mean, my heart was with Mikey, but I knew Spence was gonna win.
$100, right?
Yeah, $100 allegedly. I mean, we don't gamble here. But Mikey didn't look hurt at all. There wasn't one point in the fight. I know there was the whole thing in the 9th round where his brother was like, "Oh, like if you keep taking damage, I'm gonna stop the fight." But there was not one moment where I'm like, "Okay, they're gonna end the fight now," and that says a lot about him, and I guess a lot about Spence, whether it was his game plan or he just wasn't strong enough to knock him out.
I think that's one of the things I learned from this fight. I kept asking, where's Errol Spence's power, right? Because he has 21 knockouts in 24 fights. Well, he did before this fight. And like you said, he never hurt Mikey. I thought he could hurt Mikey to the body, but I didn't see it all fight.
Yeah, and then you look at Mikey's face, and he had some marks on it, but it's not like someone
The jab.
who really got beat up.
Yeah.
I think Mikey impressed me more because of that, the defense a little bit, and he did take a little punishment.
Yeah.
And he showed that he can take hits. Like his chin held up well, his heart held up.
His body too. He took the
His
body
body,
shots well.
yeah, his body.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think he just couldn't connect, and I don't know if he was. I doubt that he was scared to throw.
He was so tentative.
It's difficult, dude. Because think about it. He probably had the counters there, but when he did try to counter, he was out of reach, whether it was like by 1 centimeter or 1 inch, but he could never connect that punch. And then you have a guy who's threw 1,000+ punches in this fight. So how do you counter a guy who's throwing so many punches?
Yeah,
and it's much longer than you.
I actually heard his post-press conference, and he said that every time that he was trying to counter, he's like, it was hard for me because he kept throwing a little, like he kept throwing more. Mm-hmm. So like, and he was like stepping back, and getting out of range. So he was giving Errol Spence props for his like boxing IQ,
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this: does this change anything in the way you look at Spence or Mikey?
Mikey, to me, not really. Spence, if I'm a welterweight, I want him because you're fighting a guy much smaller than you. You know, in reality, it's like 3 or 4 weight classes because Errol Spence is a big dude. He probably walks around 170, 180, right? And he's fighting at 147. So if I'm a welterweight, I want to fight Spence because that myth or that theory that he had all this power, Mikey kind of, you know, that's in doubt now, at least to me.
So it hurt in your eyes. It hurt him more than it helped him.
Errol Spence?
No, it helps him because by his
I mean, he got
theory,
money.
they want to fight him too. They're gonna
Yeah.
want to fight him.
Yeah.
But I think
I just thought that this fight for Errol Spence was a lose. Like, you know, you beat Mikey, and you just beat a guy that's smaller than you.
boxing wise maybe, but
You
he made
lose
money.
to him, and then fuck, there goes your career. You know, like.
Yeah. But he did get good exposure
Yeah.
from all the Mexican boxing fans. You know, he is from Texas, but, I mean, Mikey still probably had more fans than him there.
Yeah.
And he does gain that exposure. He does get his first pay-per-view fight.
What do you think about his trunks?
What
How
was
you
wearing?
came
I
out?
forgot. Oh, the colors?
Yeah.
Oh, we touched on that, huh? I don't like it. What do you guys feel about that?
He
Him wearing red,
just
white,
for
and
you
green.
guys didn't watch the fight. Errol Spence came with nothing but red, white, and green, like with the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
He didn't have the flag, did he? It was
He didn't
just
have the
colors.
flag. It was the colors.
Even
but
on the gloves too.
they were in the order. His mouth guard was.
I don't like it. I don't know. How do you feel
You
about
kind
it?
of have to cater to the
Yeah,
audience.
it's
a
for
little
me.
bit.
It really doesn't make a difference too much. I can see why he was.
I had
doing
more
it.
of a problem with Mayweather because he would bring out the sombrero, and then
Yeah.
he would always fight on May 5th and
Yeah.
September
Yeah.
15th.
So, but
and
you
stuff.
see, like the way I look at that, if you fight on May 5th or May 16th, you can pull it off as it's like
Yeah. You're
it's
paying
it's
homage
it's,
kind of-
it's like I'm honoring Mexican independence or La Batalla de Puebla when you're just fighting a guy because he's Mexican and you come out wearing his shit, like it's like
Well, it's also because he's in Dallas, and he knows there's many Mexican fans.
he's
there.
from Dallas, bro.
Yeah.
Dallas,
You know what? I don't
Dallas,
like it.
it's a lot more than just Mexican guys.
Yeah. You know
No,
why I
but
don't.
the crowd was mostly Mexican.
You know why I don't like it? Because when have you ever heard like Errol Spence like shouting out Mexican fans, or saying like gracias or in Spanish or something like that?
Sure. Yeah.
Now
He-
all of a
he didn't
sudden
even
when
say
you're
anything,
when
right?
you no he didn't
In the
say
post press
anything.
conference, he kind of did. I heard him say that he respects the fans, and he hopes he got a little bit of Mexican fans on his side now.
I love what both of these guys were saying to each other. Like, did you see the respect between both of them?
Yeah.
I know there was a little shit talking
Yeah.
at the end, but they respect each
Yeah.
other because like even Errol Spence was like, man, like shout out to Mikey for taking this fight. Like I wouldn't have had a fight if he didn't step up. He went the full length of the fight.
Yeah.
He held his own. He got his ass beat.
Yeah, just going back to the color thing, I don't like it because you're just trying to cater to the crowd, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't hear any of these guys like backing up the Mexican public like and other issues going on outside of boxing. But now that you need them in this sense, now you want to cater to them. I don't know. That's why I don't like it. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about? We haven't seen the numbers of the attendance, right, at the Dallas Cowboys.
They said it was
like
47?
right under 50.
Yeah.
4,000
pretty
short.
good, I think.
4,000 short of the Canelo record. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. What's the capacity of that stadium?
100K.
Yeah. So it was half.
But I mean, it was
But, yeah.
4,000 short of the Canelo fight
Yeah.
in 2016, which is pretty big.
Yeah, that's a good turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, but besides that, did you guys learn anything else from this fight? What's like the main thing that you would say you got from the Errol Spence against Mikey Garcia fight?
Nothing, man. On my end, nothing.
I
It's
did
like-
ask you, were you impressed by Errol, and what was your answer after the fight?
Initially, I wasn't because I'm like, man, look, here's a guy who's bigger, stronger, longer reach. Knock him out. Go for the knockdown. But then in the interview, the post match interview, Earl was like, I came here trying to show that I can box.
Which
and,
I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, if it
No,
is
He
true,
did because he was irritated that everybody was saying Mikey is a better boxer.
I mean,
And-
Floyd Mayweather said this after every press conference.
but
After
my,
he
for,
did get
but
a
Floyd
knockdown.
Mayweather's a
Mayweather's a
bullshitter.
boxer. But he's also a great boxer.
And a good bullshitter.
So here's the thing, like if he meant it and if that was his plan, I respect it. If
Why would you though? If you're fighting a much smaller man, and everyone, well, a lot of people were expecting you to really hurt him.
It probably wasn't the right decision for him to go with that game plan.
Because
Well, he won every round, so I mean,
but he never hurt.
he
so
said it
it's
at the end
much
of the fight at the press conference. Like, I was irritated a little bit that like some legends were picking him, and the narrative was that he was a better boxer than me. So that's why I wanted to prove that I'm a better boxer.
You proved that against a real welterweight, not against a guy 20 to 30 pounds lighter than you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't a good game plan, but he proved his point.
Yeah, I think before the fight, we're saying like it was kind of a win-win for him because he's gonna get money, the pay-per-view exposure, the Mexican fans, watching him probably for the first time. But after this was probably the worst case scenario for him.
Yeah.
Well, besides losing, because like I said, I kept asking, where's your power, right? You're fighting a much smaller man and you never hurt him. So that's what I got from it.
Well, and in all those numbers, I that's why I don't like going by those numbers. I know there's stats and like I said, not by all means I'm not a pro in boxing. I've gotten into it more and more over the past couple months, but when I look at the stats and they're like, oh, he landed 1,000 punches.
Yeah, no,
and I'm looking
he threw 1,000.
Or even if he landed 50% of them,
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, like half of those punches
Yeah,
were just little taps that were you guys were touching gloves, and like, well, how does that count as a fucking hit?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, I agree with that.
It's frustrating when people say like, oh, look at the stats. Like when we were talking about the Sean Porter fight, I'm like, Sean Porter didn't win, and then you're like, well, look at the stats. He landed more punches. I'm like, I'm watching the fight. Like I'm not keeping score or anything, but you can't convince me that Sean Porter won. You can't convince me. Plus, he looks like a fucking leprechaun.
Dude, where's your hat? Oh, you don't have your hat.
Oh, there it is. Bring it.
Sean Porter hat.
We got the Sean Porter hat on the set.
Hell yeah. But yeah. No, it's the stats, man. We were talking about how frustrating it is, but it's a sport, and it's
What do you think, Louis? Were you impressed with Spence? I kind of was.
I was impressed with his timing, how good he was, how good he was, outputting his punches, and
He showed a little bit of defense too, like stepping back, moving a little bit to the side.
yeah, I think that definitely like caught my attention, and and he was boxing, he really was,
Yeah.
he was, again, he's a bigger fighter.
Yeah. My question is, can he do that against a welterweight? Though?
I think he
Yeah,
knocks
I
all of
don't
them out.
think he
Honestly,
can.
I think he knocks all of them out.
I don't
can't
know.
knock Mikey out.
I don't know
You
about
never
knocking
heard
him
of
out.
Mikey is always like, he's never in position to like get
That's
hit
all
like
the
that.
top welterweights.
Like Thurman,
Yeah.
he's wild. He always gets caught.
Yeah,
Porter, he's too aggressive and wild as well.
but what about Pacquiao?
Pacquiao, I think he hurts Pacquiao.
You think so?
Yeah. I think Mikey has a better chin than Pacquiao. And Pacquiao also throws a lot, so he's going to get caught.
Yeah, but I think that'll be
That'll be a good
different,
fight,
too.
though, because of his speed.
Yeah, exactly. Because with Mikey, he just wasn't
Yeah,
that
he
fast.
doesn't have that speed.
Yeah,
So that's probably the one that's gonna happen next, right, Pacquiao? You would assume.
I think so. I mean,
Because
based on what they said.
To me, Pacquiao can fight whoever he wants, and they all want to fight him. So, I mean, it seemed like he wanted some of Errol at the end. He did take some pictures with Mayweather as well.
Yeah.
Who was present. But yeah, my guess. I mean, Pacquiao can choose whoever he wants at this point.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna tell him who to fight.
It's crazy, dude. I mean, you guys talk about Soulja Boy having the biggest comeback. Manny Pacquiao. People thought his career was done. And he's out there just making it happen.
Yeah, you got like a second win.
He lost against
The Australian, which he didn't really lose
against
to.
Horn.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a bad. The Bradley fight was bad,
Yeah.
and then the Marquez fight was really bad. So you looking. Not a lot of people can come back from those fights.
Yeah.
And he's back there now. He can choose whatever he wants. Dude.
And he's still gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, and then he's gonna be president.
Yeah, but they, I want to see him at least get somebody like that's at the top, not fight like another, Brandon Rios,
Yeah.
He beat Broner.
Broner's he's a name, but he's not the top.
Hey, Broner didn't
welterweight.
lose. According to him, he didn't lose. He got robbed.
Yeah,
We all saw it. The hood saw it too.
the hood side thing.
I'm gone. And
Got your ass beat.
So what do you think about the undercards?
The undercards, that
watch any of
Benavidez,
them?
that
Benavidez
Benavidez,
looked
I was
pretty
able
good.
to catch that. Man, he looked good.
look
That
good.
hand speed.
Yeah.
I never seen
Yeah.
him fight. I just heard of him.
Yeah,
It looked scary. He doesn't look like a fast guy.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look like he's in shape, right? We're saying like,
Yeah.
damn, this guy didn't.
He
even
kind of looks like
before.
an ogre.
He also looked
dad
huge
bods?
compared to his opponent.
yeah,
Like really big compared to his opponent.
yeah. But he looked really good.
Sharp. He didn't really waste any punches. They were all like pretty precise, and he showed his power and speed. I was impressed by that fight more than any other fight in that card.
Yeah, and I one of the things that I like to notice is when like one fighter is their punches are much crisper, if you will.
Yeah.
Like you can really see that just like
You can
with
hear the crunch.
yeah. With like Spence and Mikey, like Spence was still like his punches were crisp and he wasn't really looping them. He was like he was making contact and they were coming out the way they should. Mikey on the other hand, he was like really like looping that left hook, trying to counter.
Yeah.
And I know he was trying to reach further, but it was
His arm
slow. It
wasn't
looked
too long.
yeah.
It wasn't long
Yeah.
enough to
It was a
reach.
little slow.
Yeah. So like when I see that, like especially towards like the end of a fight, and
When
you
they're
can tell, like,
tired,
yeah,
yeah.
when they're tired, and then one of them is really landing those crisp shots. That's okay. That person's most likely gonna win unless he gets caught.
Yeah. Yeah. I was impressed by Benavidez. Did you guys catch any of the other fights?
I caught the one before that too. I believe it was.
Adolfo?
Yeah.
They
Adolfo.
put one in there, right? They put
think
one
it was
in
that
there
one, yeah.
because
I think it was that one.
because I guess all the other fights were knockouts, and before the I know you guys were talking about it in your last episode that you felt like a lot of those fights were gonna be knockouts because
Yeah.
They
They were
were-
one-sided on
they were
paper.
one-sided.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. I like that they put in one of those little 4-round fights in
Yeah.
in the middle of all these bigger fights, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what's next for Errol Spence, for Mikey Garcia, for Benavidez, who I was impressed by. Arreola, who said if he lost, he was going to retire, but he scored a knockout. So he's going to keep fighting.
He's probably gonna get another big fight.
You think so? Who
He
would
wants
it
a
be?
title.
Wilder maybe.
Probably Wilder. 'cause
He
he's
is
the-
not
I think
ready
he already
for
fought
that.
Wilder.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was so fucking gassed
He was out of shape.
Yeah.
He was
Second
gassed
round,
out.
he was-
I think. I mean, I'm pretty big, dude. I think I can go in there and run a little more longer than that guy, man. He was gassed out. The interview, he was like, "Shout out to my wife." After the second round, I was like, dude. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that was
but
pretty bad.
yeah. Stay tuned to our next episode. We're gonna go more in depth, on these topics. We're gonna break down the undercards a little more, and we also had the March 15th All-Star Boxing Show, so we're gonna talk about that.
The bloody show, you mean?
Yeah, the bloodbath, man. But yeah, stay tuned. That's all I can say. Do you guys have any last words before we sign off?
Yeah, you know what? I did catch your guys' live broadcast for the fights. It was good. I was watching it. We were commenting. I don't know if you guys were able to see that.
Yeah,
No, I
I
wasn't.
asked him the next day. I
No.
was like, "Did you see everything we were talking about? CMOs? What the,
Yeah.
who the heck is CMOs?" And then we were talking about the fights. There was a couple good ones, and then,
Yeah.
of course the hype man. Kind of
Yeah, there was a random rapper who kept hopping in the ring
Yeah.
after every fight.
50, 60-year-old rapper.
Yeah.
60 Cent.
60s.
No, yeah, but no. Shout out to you guys, man. Definitely, from our part, from the Wolfpack part, you guys, you guys put in work.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And then, that's pretty much what I got.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch the YouTube to see the comments and stuff on the live chat. I want to say thank you guys for having us here at the Wolfpack Studios. We just recorded an episode for their podcast, so check that out. I'll probably link it up in the description.
Don't do it. It's a warning. Fair warning. We're very inappropriate. We talk about a lot of stuff that
Unorganized.
most people won't agree on, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah, you have any shout outs before we sign off?
No, just leave any comments. I mean, support the podcast Against the Ropes, and just any comments. I'll be answering them. I'll be there. I'll be in the comments. I'm a comment more.
It's your boy Gut.
It's your boy Gut. You know it.
Shout out to the Wolfpack.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, next Friday I'll drop the full episode for our next podcast. Thank you guys for having us once again. That's it for my part, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys. Stay tuned.
We out.
Bing, bing, bing.
I miss emos.
Simos.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Against the Ropes, number one.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.